We started raising money last month, and the figures will come out tomorrow. The next day it'll be something like 3.2 million that we raised in June. If you look historically, that's more than most of the leading contenders raised their first month into the full campaign. And when you read the figure, it won't look that way in the paper. And in terms of expectation levels, because they got ours, right where they want them. But we'll just step by step. I think we'll meet those, and we'll be fine. So thank you for coming out at this stage of the game and helping us get to the next level, which is where we intend to go. Any of you who knows me knows that this has not been a lifelong ambition of mine. And the question that most people find is rightfully, why now? And the short answer is, I think that our country is going to be facing some issues just in the next few years, and there'll be some things on the presidential plate for sure for the next few years, decisions of which will determine the course of this country, possibly for decades to come. I think one finds itself having gone through personal tragedies and personal blessings, especially so many blessings later in life, shall we say. At a time when one might think that you're reaching kind of a comfort level, the fact of the matter is it causes you to ask, am I at my highest and best use? Am I doing what I ought to be doing? And can my country use it? And how many people have an opportunity to make a difference in their children's lives, their grandchildren's lives, and maybe for everybody's children and grandchildren's lives, the next generation. Barack Obama said that it was audacious for him to announce a run for president. It's audacious for anybody to announce a run for president. No one person can do everything. No one party can do everything anymore. But some people are in a position to do various things. I talked to more people out here tonight that have done more than I have for their country than I could even think of. But this is something that I think the American people has given us an opportunity to do. We announced that we were interested in looking at this situation, and the response has been such that it's clear that they're opening the door for us and saying, Fred, can you walk through it? Can you have a second act? And we're going to do it our way, according to our own time frame, and take ourselves to the American people and do everything that we possibly can. Make sure they have that option. And I'll live by their decision, and if it's the wrong decision, I'll just go back to being the happiest man in the world. I always planned for that to happen. I haven't run many elections, but I never lost one, and I don't intend to start now. I think that our country is in a global war of historic proportions, and not enough people realize that yet. I think that we're going to have to come together and do things better and more wisely, with more determination, and be stronger and more resolute and just as committed as our enemy. And it's going to take a while, it's going to take a lot of money, it's going to take a lot of determination and a lot of leadership. It's just that simple. And the most dangerous thing in the world they can counter in the lives of these kids, or the rest of us for that matter, is for the United States of America to be weak. And the next most dangerous thing, perhaps just as dangerous, is to appear to be weak. We cannot do that. We've got to do the necessary things to deal with that. We were in the midst of, in many respects, unprecedented prosperity. 22 weeks, I guess, by now, of economic growth in this country. Even our friends in the Republican Party will point out that even the deficit as a percentage of GDP is not outside of historic bounds at all. It's not. What I don't hear talked about is the fact that when the Social Security surplus is used up in a few years, we're going to be in a heck of a mess. The demographics, as everybody in this room and everybody on Capitol Hill knows, is not going to allow us to have the status quo and business as usual. We've got to be talking about that and start doing something about that. But turning in the right direction for Democrats and Republicans to sit down to address these things where we're borrowing and putting in hot deeper and deeper every day our children and our grandchildren. That's not right. I think we're better than that. But the case has got to be articulated to the American people. I see nothing with regard to that or any of the other problems that we face that cannot be dealt with. American ingenuity, inventiveness, free markets, free people, fair competition, all the things that made us what we are today, all the things that got us to where we are as the most powerful nation and the most prosperous nation in the history of the world. When you look at Capitol Hill, you see every Congress more and more divided, fighting more and more over more and more things, all things large and small, sometimes often putting the interest of the next generation secondary to the next election. I believe if the right case is taken to the American people, that you'll have a message delivered to Capitol Hill that can change that. Unfortunately, I've been there, as many of you have. And it's not going to be solved by coffee patches and kumbaya. It's going to be dealt with when the folks here think that the folks out there are demanding something different from them. And I feel like that folks are ready to deal with what they have an inherent sense is out there to be dealt with. What kind of country we want to have? What kind of world are these kids going to grow up in terms of being able to go to school without the turmoil that we see around the world that so easily can be visited here? And not to mention the utter disasters that could come along from you read the national intelligence estimates. I don't know how much clearer it can be. I don't hear too much talk about it. Everything's low. Well, they say, well, Fred will be optimistic. I am optimistic, but you know, my daddy always said that a man walked around with a smile on his face all the time, didn't know what was going on. But our optimism, I think, comes not from the world we see around us, but the confidence that we have that we can do something about it. And I have that confidence. I believe our better days are ahead of us. I believe that people are looking for leadership. And I think that the next president is going to have to go to the American people and basically say, here's the deal. With the mark off, here's what we need to do. Here's why we need to do it. And I know that you will do what your forefathers have done, what every generation of Americans, through all of the crises that we've had before, has done. And that is come together, get your belts up, do the right thing, get through this together, and come out of the other end stronger and wiser and better than we went in. That's the message that I want to take to the American people. And we're ready to do that.